What is a personal narrative anyways? Thinking. If personal narratives make you feel like this, hang in there. I am here to help. So sit back and relax, and welcome to Writing Made Easy, Personal Narrative Edition. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do to help to describe what a personal narrative is we're going to look at this example of a well-written personal narrative. This is written by an actual fifth grader, and this is ideally what we would hope is similar to what you would turn in. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to read the story to you, and then we're going to go through our personal narrative checklist and talk about where in their story did they do these things, or how did they do them. Roller coaster. My stomach turned as we approached the roller coaster. That day it was burning hot. There was a ginormous line. I felt dizzy. My uncle gave me his hat and bought me a bottle of water. It was an hour wait. I was burning up. When we finally reached the roller coaster, my legs went weak and my head spun. I hopped into the roller coaster. There were 2 seats a row, and I sat next to my uncle. It slowly started moving. 3, 2, 1. Hold on! Zoom! We slowly went up to the track. Whoosh! There was a 103-foot drop. We zoomed down. My uncle looked like he was going to puke, and the air was sucked out of me. Slowly and gently we came to a stop. As we got out, I heard someone say, "Oh my goodness, that little girl just did it!" When I did it, I was only 7. We climbed down the stairs to go get our picture. He looked like he was going to puke in the picture. I had a smile on my face. The picture came out in a keychain. I let my Uncle Lawrence keep it. He had a smile on his face as we strolled away to find my mom in the busy crowd. This is a great example of a personal narrative. Let's go look through our personal narrative checklists so I can show you where they did these things. The first is I focused on a small seed moment. We know that this author focused on a small seed moment because they didn't talk about the entire time they were at the theme park. They picked one ride to really focus on. I shared what I learned with my reader. Remember that you don't actually have to say, "I learned blah, 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 blah." Instead, what you want, just like we've been learning in reading, is to have your character go through a series of events, and those series, through cause and effect, lead to the theme or the message of your writing. In this case, at the beginning, our girl was scared of the roller coaster. In the end, she conquered her fear. So she did share the lesson that she learned. How do we organize a personal narrative? Well, a personal narrative has a beginning, middle, and end. At the beginning, you want to be sure to hook your reader into the story. Here she did that by saying, "My stomach turned as we approached the roller coaster." By sharing what her character was feeling, she gave an insight that made the reader interested. I used words or phrases to show how much time went by. She did that here, where it says, "That day it was burning hot." That tells you when it was happening. When we finally reached the roller coaster, that shows you that time has passed. She does that many times throughout her essay. She doesn't organize her story into paragraphs, but one way to make it stronger would be to break her story up into different parts. If I were her, I might have broken it up into before the ride, while I was waiting, on the ride, and after the ride. What's really important here is the craft or elaboration that she uses. She clearly describes her character's action. She has one instance of dialogue where another lady is talking about her, and she showed what her characters did and were thinking and feeling very clearly. She made choices about the words that she used to create sensory details or imagery. You can almost picture exactly what she is going through, especially in the section in the middle when she's talking about being on the roller coaster ride. So this is our example of a great personal narrative. I hope it helps you to know what a personal narrative should look like and sound like. Remember, a personal narrative is just a story with a beginning, middle, and end, where your character, which is you in a personal narrative, learns a lesson. Okay, Pretty easy, right? Now head back to our Schoology page and go to Analyze Real Life Examples of Good Writing.